Welcome to Overcrest. I'm Chris.
And I'm Jake.
What's up, Jake?
I don't know. What is up?
What's new?
Is my audio good?
You sound great.
Really?
You sound fine.
Something's wrong with my headphones. There we go.
I thought you were going to say something's wrong with my head, and I was going to completely and utterly agree with you in all ways, shapes, or forms.
Yes.
How are you? What's going on? What's new? What are you working on? What's
still have the 944 Turbo up on the hoist.
Oh, by the way.
Yes.
We're going to be doing news every week again.
I know. That's exciting.
People are clapping in their car. We're going back to 2 episodes a week. I'm excited. It's a hell of a lot more work.
I was going to say, not excited for all the work.
It was a lot. I've been here for 9 hours so far today, but happy to do it for you guys. But I just want to let you know, going to 2 episodes a week again.
Excellent.
News, and then our feature episode.
That's right.
Yes, which in a few days is going to be very cool. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
It's a series, though. We can tell you that.
It's a 3-part series. And yeah, I'm really excited.
And then after that, I have another series that we're working on.
I'm excited for that as well. Okay, now that we've told everybody a bunch of secrets, the secrets are no fun.
What's going on? 944 Turbo still up on the hoist. The motor is very clean.
Yes. How many cans of brake cleaner did it take?
Oh, I buy them by the case now.
You do? I do too.
Yes.
How many? What is it? 12 in a case?
Something like that.
Yeah,
so I'm on
the
my
only way to do it.
second case.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
I also tried. Have you ever tried soda blasting?
I have not.
I have just like a really cheap, like small hopper gun, like not a full setup that I was trying to clean, just like kind of the corrosion off the because the cast aluminum is like it's porous, right?
Right.
It's not smooth.
Correct.
So it's very difficult to clean
unless you have your manifolds 3D printed, and then they don't have any porosity like the ones on my Mercedes. Pretty awesome.
It's not porosity. What is it? It's
porous. No, it's porous.
There's holes?
Yes, it's a casting.
Yeah, I suppose.
So yes, it has dimples, and I wouldn't say it has holes, but it definitely, if you were to look at it under a microscope, it would look like Mars. I mean, it would not look like a smooth. Wouldn't look like
it's texture,
a cue ball or something like that.
Porous, I think of as a sponge. A sponge is porous.
It has
right.
It has. It's not porous, but it has porosity.
No, that also doesn't work. I'm thinking it's just textured, right? Regardless, it's very difficult to clean.
This is the stupidest conversation.
So I tried soda blasting, and it works slowly.
Okay.
And very, very messy.
Because you're just spraying it at oily goo.
Well, yeah. I mean, it takes it off, but it's just, I need like all of the volume of air at the highest of pressures.
Well, your compressor is terrible.
Bigger than yours.
Is it really? Did you get a new compressor?
I don't know. When were you over last?
I don't know, but I remember you not having a nice air compressor.
Yeah, no, I have a 2-stage big upright situation.
Okay, what's the CFM on that?
A lot. I had it years.
Not enough, apparently, for soda blasting. That is a huge amount of air to do any kind of sandblasting, anything.
Yes.
It's tough.
So that's, I don't know, slow going. And it's just powder everywhere. Everywhere. Like a cake
How
shop.
fine is this powder, the soda? Is it kind of like baking soda?
I literally just bought baking soda.
Okay.
Because it was cheaper to buy like bulk.
What about doing like a
Arm & Hammer baking soda?
What do they do? Glass beads?
Yeah.
Or silica?
Yeah.
Silica beads? Have you tried that?
No, because I don't want little glass beads everywhere. I do actually have a blasting cabinet, but it's not big enough, and it's at my dad's house, and just
the biggest issue with sandblasting any kind of aluminum and stuff like that is sometimes it can get shiny if you do it wrong, and then it looks absolutely horrible.
Right. Yeah, the good news is it doesn't look like I cleaned it.
Okay.
So yeah, just waiting to put parts back together.
Waiting for what?
Cleaning. More parts to arrive.
You've been ordering stuff.
And seals. Colin's been ordering it for me.
I know what the delay is.
What?
Colin has been in California.
Correct. He's back home now.
Yes, so that's why
this motor's just gonna go back together.
Yeah, that's we'll speak the truth and say that it's that.
100%.
All right.
What about you?
I put the motor in the Trooper.
That's right. I saw you live streaming.
Yeah, I put the motor in the Trooper. That felt pretty good. I ordered some.
Now, you had talked before about how it has to go in and out and in and out and in and out 57 times because it's a swap no one's done before. So
yes.
It's like,
I'm hoping
to say it's trial and error because it's smarter than that. But there's always things that you need to mock up or look at and then remove it in order to do it.
I'm hoping that I don't need to do too much of that because there's so much room in the engine compartment itself.
Okay.
I'm hoping I could just slide the motor over because it moves like left and right 6 to 8 inches in either direction. I mean, it's like wonk, wonk. So you can like move it around and up and down.
Do you have motor mounts?
I do not, but I did order some motor mounts that guys use them with like a TDI swap on like a Jeep.
Okay.
So it's kind of like Passat Volkswagen mounts. I got hydraulic motor mounts, which I think is going to make a really nice difference in the.
I suppose because diesels vibrate.
Yeah, diesels vibrate, and I think they'll be fine. It's like an OEM style mount.
Do you know what type of mount was in the 944 diesel?
Probably a polyurethane something or another, or like a rabbit mount with polyurethane squirted into it.
It was just solid.
Oh no, you can't do that.
I know.
It's not a trophy truck.
Terrible.
Oh. Boy, that thing has really got a lot of things going for it, doesn't it?
Well, it's going to be great now.
Okay, so
this is what I'm going to take to the rally.
Did you notice that Jay asked me what I was doing and then started talking about himself again in his car?
So it's like you always do to me. Oh no, how's it feel?
Trooper's going well though. The motor's in. I'm hoping that once I get the mounts, I'll be able to bolt it up, and then wiring, and then intercooler and intake and radiator, and then I'm done. That's it.
Do you have a plan for these things?
Not yet. I need to get it bolted in because it doesn't make any sense to try and lay things out if the motor isn't where it's eventually going to be. Doesn't make any sense to do any of that. So I'm kind of holding pattern a little bit. I've got news that the 911 is supposed to be done middle of February, into February.
Okay. Then what?
That is excellent news. I'm going to fly out there.
And then what?
Drive it around.
You going to drive it home?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to drive it home in the salt. I just refuse to do it.
That's what I was wondering.
That's the one thing I will not put my 911 through is salt.
Right.
Because dings and dents are fine. Rust is not.
What about the salt flats?
I won't do that.
No.
Dude, you get salt everywhere.
I know. In places that things don't go.
All right. Speaking of the Porsche 911, did you know?
Oh, no.
What?
Because I'm reading ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, don't read ahead. It's
okay, well, then I'll just not look.
The Porsche
Tell me about the Porsche 911, Chris.
The Porsche 911 Hybrid is coming.
Okay.
And don't worry, they said it will be very sporty.
I'm sure they did.
Quote, very sporty.
Yes. Truth in advertising. If you ever want to know what they're worried about, it's what they advertise.
Yeah. Many have said this is like the frog in boiling water anecdote with the 911. You know what I mean? Where it's like this slow burn where the 911 slowly disappears.
Yeah.
The urban myth has it that if you put a frog in a pot of boiling water, it will instantly leap out.
Right.
Makes sense.
Naturally.
Yeah, you don't want to be in boiling water.
No, you don't.
But if you put it in a pot filled with pleasantly tepid water.
Tepid?
I've never heard pleasantly and tepid in the same sentence before.
I like it.
Pleasantly tepid water and gradually heat it. The frog will remain in the water until it boils to death. Allegedly, the frog is not able to detect the gradual increase in temperature until it is too late.
Which is because it's cold-blooded.
It's bullshit. As soon as the frog gets uncomfortable, that fucker is leaving. He is out of there.
Have you tested this? Do you know it's false?
No, because I'm not a serial killer, so I'm not going to torture animals.
Well, now I want to know if this is a thing. Because everyone's heard this, right?
As far as I know, it is a false myth. From what I was reading when I looked up what it is, it's not true.
Because I could see being cold-blooded, a reptile, like that it does somehow.
Wouldn't you think that the contrast would be even worse? As it got hot, you'd be like, whoa, this is really hot, and then you'd get out even sooner.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
you're cold-blooded. The question is, will Porsche lose its ethos?
You do realize what cold-blooded is. It's not that they just have cold blood.
They don't have what is cold blood?
They don't have temperature regulation, so they just basically are the temperature of whatever their environment is.
Oh, really?
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought they just had like
their blood just happens to be cold.
Little refrigerators,
humans, mammals, etc. We're always at a set temperature because we regulate our own temperature. That's why you shiver to warm up, right? And that's why you sweat to evaporate to cool down.
Yeah, it's a much better system.
Yes. Well, reptiles are just whatever their environment is.
So they're definitely going to notice them because they can't do anything about it.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Come on.
Because when it's cold, they they get very lethargic.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Okay. The question is, in this analogy,
yes,
will Porsche lose its ethos and cause people to leave once there is nothing left of the 911 and water starts to boil? When the water starts to boil,
what is the water boiling in this analogy?
When there is no longer a combustion engine.
Right. So when it's the electric.
So that's electric or electric and hybrid. So I think it's going to go, we have gas, and then we have hybrid.
Yes.
And then we have like some sort of advanced hybrid, and then they're going to drop off the combustion and add electric. So then you'll have hybrid and electric.
Electric is just always there.
I'm just pure electric, plug-in, electric. No range extender, no nothing.
Correct. Yes.
All right. So that's what it's going to have. It's going to go hybrid first, which is going to be some sort of like, ooh, this is really great. This is really, really great because there's more power and it's awesome. And it's a giant, fat, heavy pig. But guess what? We have enough computers that we're going to be able to figure it out. Don't worry. Don't worry. You won't even notice how heavy it is.
We knew when they launched the 9992 chassis. That was too many nines. 99992 chassis. They basically said, like, we have built this in order to go hybrid with it.
Right. So we kind of knew this was coming.
Exactly.
So that's when they turned on the stove. They turned on the stove. They threw it in there and they said, don't worry. Don't you remember? They said, we're going to have a combustion engine 911 for the foreseeable future.
Yes.
No, they didn't say forever.
I know.
They said for the foreseeable future. Lo and behold, the foreseeable future was about a year. Okay. Anyway, so we're boiling. We're boiling. We're on our way to boiling. EV 911 is right around the corner. I don't care what they say.
So you think they're going to do one?
They have to.
What if they just drop the model line?
That was not even a realistic statement.
Another 911.
For all intents and purposes, that's what's happening.
I know. The 70s, remember where they were going to like change out the model line? They were going to retire the 911.
Yep.
And it was 928 was the successor.
Oh, yeah.
And then who was it who came into the drawing room and just took the marker and kept going?
Yep. Well, the marker's in the garbage now.
It's done.
Yeah.
That was it. I think maybe that's it.
No, the 911 will continue to exist in name.
I know.
Okay, the 911 is the 911
silhouette.
Is the 911 a 911 or is a Cayman a 911?
No, because in my mind, one of the defining features is the engine
placement
behind the axle.
What if you put the Cayman? Look, the 911 is too big.
I know. I 100% agree.
It's too big. It's too big. It's too fat.
It's just a fat 911. It's still a 911.
That's like. You've had your girlfriend around for a while. You're like, well, you're still you, but you certainly have ballooned up a little bit.
Yeah, lost the magic.
You lost it. So related in other news of things.
Okay, before we get off of that though, I will say, we said it before, hybrids do make sense. I don't want to see it in a sports car.
I don't either, but it's the way to go.
It is. Like, I was talking to someone who had like a very old Toyota Prius, and they're like, yeah, it gets 99 miles a gallon. It's like, why would you ever want an EV when you have this?
Right. Yeah.
It's so efficient. It makes so much more sense.
We've been through that a million times. They don't care. They don't want to listen.
Dumb.
You know what's crazy?
What? What?
When it comes to emissions.
Yeah.
If England fell into the ocean today and disappeared completely, for example.
Why England? I was going to say, what do you have against them?
I don't know. Sorry,
don't insult. Okay, first of all, the UK.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or England.
I already fucked up. The United Kingdom.
I know you did.
The United Kingdom.
So that's multiple islands, you realize.
The Scottish and the Welsh would be happy for England to fall into the ocean,
right,
I'm sure.
Because the rest of the UK, yes.
Okay, let's say the entire island and Ireland and everything else falls into the ocean. Has no effect on climate change whatsoever. Most of climate issues when it comes to pollution is underdeveloped countries.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Because they're poor.
Right.
And they don't care. And they don't care.
They don't have the capacity to change.
Guess what they're not buying?
EVs.
Right. Because they're too busy burning tires to stay alive. All right. So if this is going to really have any effect, what we need to do is we need to advance technology to the point where it's cheaper, energy is readily accessible, and it's damn near cheap. Free.
Right.
Damn near free. So that these people can adopt.
It still won't be better for the environment.
Then what are we doing? Jake?
Yep. No.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing then?
It doesn't
Besides
make sense.
Setting a good example. We're going to set a great example for the rest of the world by destroying our economy.
Mining for lithium and also burning.
And we've seen the
coal and
everybody
gas
now knows about
the electricity.
The Joe Rogan episode where they interviewed the guy who went and looked at all the cobalt mines, and it's just a bunch of people slaving away with pickaxes and carrying
it's terrible
poisonous cobalt around.
Yep.
It's we're not doing this right.
No,
we're not doing it right. We're not doing it responsibly. We're not thinking about what we're doing.
Well,
we're seeing the end goal and then just doing whatever it takes to get there.
Who made this decision?
World Economic, the WWF, or
politicians, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it was the politicians that did it.
Yeah.
Right?
No, yes, but I also think that there's a lot of money to be made in saying, hey guys, every car you've ever owned is now illegal. I guess you'll just have to buy more. So if you don't think that the manufacturers love this shit, you're wrong. All right, related, these new headlights from Porsche, these new LED headlights, guess how many LEDs they have? 16,000.
Now, is that per
headlight?
Per corner?
Per headlight. Porsche has developed what it calls
So this is matrix, LED matrix headlights.
Yeah.
It's not new.
For a headlight, it is. Porsche has developed what it calls the light technology of the next generation. According to a statement by the firm published Friday, it consists of an accumulation of LEDs into one platform. Mm-hmm. Quote, the core element of the innovation created in collaboration with partners.
What is that accent?
It's
what,
German.
A French-German man? That was terrible.
I don't know. Maybe they're marshals. I have no idea. The core element of the innovation created in collaboration with partners is a chip that combines over 16,000 individually controlled micro LEDs onto the surface area the size of a thumbnail.
Yeah.
Wrote
That's
Herman
crazy.
Joseph Stappen, spokesperson of research and development and technology communications at Porsche. The end result is extremely homogeneous illumination. Didn't you know that's what you always wanted?
Homogeneous
illumination.
Well, isn't that like why headlights are homogeneous anyways?
I don't understand what that means.
Single beam of light. I think they're saying you don't see individual LEDs. That's all they're saying out of it.
Probably. And because the resolution is so high because there's so many of
yes.
them. The high-performance high beams that turn night into day at a distance to up to 600 meters.
That's
600 meters.
That's really good.
The new invention is also energy saving because the HD matrix headlights only activate the pixels that are actually needed in any given moment. They consume considerably less energy than other high-resolution systems while the amount of light remains the same. In addition, the first time ever, the characteristics Porsche 4-point headlight graphics of the daytime running lights can also be seen at night when the new system is used with both low and high beams. Mm-hmm. Porsche had to apply for over 25 patents to make this revelation or innovative situation
not revelation.
Reality.
So I thought like LED matrix headlights is not a new concept.
No.
So
I think it's the size.
Right. So this is a lot. 16,000 is a lot more than whatever the other manufacturers are doing. And you know the purpose of matrix headlights is you use sensors then, because every car has a camera in the front of it now. Yep. And basically when there's oncoming cars, it'll just dim that exact like area. Right?
That's really interesting.
Yeah. So you
I
still
think this
have,
is
like,
great.
Really bright down low or wherever else the car is not. And so it's like smart lighting. That's the whole point of matrix LEDs.
It'll just add more features for people to buy, which is what it's really all about.
You'll have to subscribe to the smart headlight versus the non.
Wow. Imagine, well, you can only have 8,000 LEDs in this matrix work, but if you pay a little bit extra, you can see up to 600 meters. Jake, tell me a little bit about the Drivers Club.
Well, Chris, you can go over to overcrestproductions.com/drivers club for as little as $5 a month.
Oh, I let you say it this time, didn't I?
What?
Drivers Club.
Yeah, that's nothing weird there. Just the Drivers Club, even Drivers Dash Club. Whatever you feel like. That
works too.
Whatever you feel like, Chris.
All right.
Your choice. Driver's choice. For as little as $5 a month, you can come support the show. You get access to exclusive content. We have a whole back catalog. You get what? You can get a
t-shirt.
You get a t-shirt.
You get a print. From me. I haven't said this in a while.
Okay, let's
hear
it.
This is the only way to get a print from me. I don't sell prints.
Nope.
So everybody loves the shit on Instagram. They love it. They're DMing, oh, this is great. This is wonderful. I have wallpaper for my phone. How about wallpaper for your house?
Wow.
Right there. All you got to do is sign up as a Drivers Club member, and you can be in. You can have early access to all that stuff. You get a discount on the rally.
Watch us live.
Discount on the rally.
On the rally.
It basically pays for itself. Wake up, guys.
If you want to come in the rally, just go to the Drivers Club because you'll know right away.
Plus, you get to support the show. Overcrestproductions.com/driver club.
Absolutely.
Driver Club.
No. There's more than one of them, Chris.
That's true. Although you're very special if you're one. You're the Driver Club. You are the driver.
If you sign up using that link. No.
I was thinking of other things that we could add to it. And I was like, what if I make like a $5,000 tier where me and the person.
What are you doing for them?
We'll fly out, get a shit box together, and we'll drive it across the country.
I've done this with you. That is not worth $5,000.
Sure it is.
Nope.
You can you can spend hours in the car listening to my wisdom.
Like I said, nope. No.
Oh, have you heard about Cadillac joining Formula One?
You know, I heard something about this. Is this real?
Yes, it is real. And
this seems strange to me. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
Cadillac is not a sports car company. Name a sports car made by Cadillac.
CTSV.
That's a fast sedan. It's not a sports car.
No, it's a two-door car. It's a fast Corvette. They're two-door. They're like, it's a Corvette, but a Cadillac.
No, it's
They've raced.
Okay, first of all, they don't make the CTS-V anymore.
Right, that's true.
It's the CT5 and the CT4.
They do have history in racing. Cadillac does have history in racing, and most of the same stuff that Cadillac Corvette would race in.
But like, what's the marketing here? Like, why are they spending money on F1 to sell really sporty, fast cars that they don't have?
I don't know. Mercedes really doesn't do that much in motorsport other than Formula One either.
True.
And neither did Infinity.
It's just straight marketing.
I mean, neither does.
It just seems strange to me.
It is the pinnacle of motorsport. It is where
I know, but
it is where manufacturers go to show off and develop the future of motoring. And I think that's the draw.
Which is all EV anyways. So what are they doing?
Well, there's EV and hybrid concepts built into Formula One.
Yeah,
and it's only a matter of time, right? It's only a matter of time.
Formula E is now Formula 1E.
Later in the news, we're going to talk about maybe it's not EV, but we're going to stats. I'm going to give you some stats.
We know it doesn't make sense.
No,
but the fact that it's...
Hold on. Okay. I'm going to give you some stats. We'll get there. All right. This first, though. So most of the other manufacturers were not receptive at first. Excuse me.
Manufacturers were not receptive to what?
To the idea of Cadillac.
Yeah, neither am I, and I'm not even a manufacturer.
Things may be softening. U.S. racing stalwart Michael Andretti has been on the front foot trying to gather support for
front foot?
That's what it says. I didn't write this.
What is the front foot?
It's the foot that's in front of the other one.
Okay. How about like on the front line trying to gather support?
I don't think it... Then it becomes war. I don't think this is war.
Well, front foot is just a dumb
enthusiasm
thing.
for Andretti becoming an 11th team on the grid requires the approval of both the FIA and Formula One has been lukewarm at best so far. It is understood a majority of the Formula One teams were not keen on having to share the prize pool with an extra entrant. So basically, there's only a set amount of money.
You can't just show up to Formula One.
No. Their concerns come amid questions over whether the current $200 million dilution fund Andretti would have to pay is enough to reflect the increased value of a Formula One entry following the sport's popularity boom. Okay, so if I, Chris, want to go into F1, there's a bunch of rules, and we'll get to those later. But you also have to give all the teams, you have to split up $200 million between them to make them not so butthurt that they're losing money that you're coming in.
Serious?
Dead serious. Last summer, Mercedes chief Wolff said any expansion would have to add value to the sport, saying, Andretti is a great name, but this is a sport and this is business, and we need to understand what it is and what you can provide to the sport.
How about...
It's GM!
More eyeballs?
It's GM. It's an American, a factory American team, and I hear that they want to have American drivers.
What other sport is there where it's like, in order to be part of the league, you have to pay all the other teams?
I don't know.
That's so weird to me.
Well, this is a lot. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
Now, Andretti, and if OEM or multinational groups join Formula One and can demonstrate that they're going to spend X amount of dollars in activating, in marketing, that's obviously a totally different value proposition for all the other teams. So they just basically want to know that you're going to come in, you're going to pay this $200, and they want to see your marketing plan. They want to see how your company is going to help the growth of Formula One and therefore make their piece of the pie bigger.
Here's what's crazy to me. How would the dollars make sense? Because the companies aren't doing it just for the fun of it, right? Cadillac isn't being like, you know what, Formula One, that looks really fun. Let's just do it.
I'm sure
it all is marketing budget.
It's money, right?
Well, no, but the only reason they're doing it is to sell more cars, right?
Correct. Yes.
So it's all marketing. How does the fact that you have to pay $200 million on top of the millions it takes in order to develop the team?
I think you underestimate the reach of Formula One. I think you underestimate the long-term financial rewards of being part of Formula One. There's a reason that teams do it every year and lose. And lose. You're
right, but it just seems asinine to me that makes financial sense.
The amount of money that can be generated by Formula One and the eyeballs that are on it. And guess what? What's the Netflix show?
Yeah.
What is it? What's it called?
I don't know. The Formula One show.
I forget what it's called. I don't know why.
Not Race to Win. It's everyone knows what we're talking about.
Yes, they do. And I'm having a brain spasm right now. Cadillac and GM, that's a statement. Certainly them joining forces with Andretti is definitely a positive, Wolff said. It gives another angle that may or not be beneficial for Formula One.
Drive to survive.
That's it. But definitely nobody would ever question GM's or Cadillac's pedigree in motorsport except for Jake, and obviously as a global auto company.
I just don't see the correlation to like their current lineup of cars.
They do tons of motorsport. New Williams team principal James Vowles, who joins the Grove outfit after years of acting as Mercedes' chief strategist, added that Formula One still needs to gain a better understanding of how Andretti and Cadillac are planning to contribute to its growth. Again, American market. Well, American also, market share.
It's just so weird to me that in order to be order to be allowed to pay money, you also need to show that you're going to grow the sport. It's so weird.
We're always open to the sport growing, but the truth behind it is any expansion team like in the NFL or the NBA would have to go through the same thing. 100%. They don't just let you in just because you have a team. Have you ever heard the Harlem Globetrotters? They're not in the NBA. We're always open to the sport growing, but the truth behind it is the sport financially needs to become more and more successful. It's like money. Whatever joins in that environment needs to bring it with it, effectively, the growth that is required in order for everyone else to be in a better position, or at least a neutral position. And I think it's been the statement from the outset, from the beginning. There are a lot of lovely things about Andretti and about Cadillac. It just needs to have a good understanding of how it will grow the sport, in what way, and what the growth will be. How dumb are you?
It makes a lot more sense than the other teams that are out there. Do we need 3 Red Bull teams?
Tracks have been put here. They've grown some, but a true American team with an American driver without energy drinks. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. So are you wondering what it would take to open a Formula One team?
You know, I was, but I'm not anymore because I looked it up.
Okay, what do we got?
So let me tell you, when F1 seeks new teams...
So they open it up. They say, hey, we're open to the idea of having a new team.
Yes.
Okay.
When F1 seeks new teams, due to an existing team deciding to leave the sport, or when the FIA simply wants to expand the field, it sets a certain window period from the 21st of October to the 1st of November, which is a very short period, by the way, to submit applications for the entry process to join the sport. Interest teams must first pay an entry fee of $200 million divided amongst the teams, as you talked about.
Yep.
So with the entry of a new team on the grid, the benefits, the existing teams have to be divided into one more, so the slices of the pie will get a bit smaller. So the $200 million are basically distributed amongst the other teams so that they can financially make sense
of the loss of income that they're going to have from the dilution of the added team.
What I don't understand is, like, it's not income. Nothing.
Have you watched Drive to Survive?
Formula One is income.
Have you watched it?
Yeah.
It is a bunch of people trying to weasel their way into more money and more, like, to cheat and figure out ways to, like, it's the smarmiest, backstabbing bullshit.
It's because there's too much money involved.
Too much money. Yes. Back in the day, it was like, man, Marlboro gave me an extra box of cigarettes today.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, or $3,000 right before I die.
Right.
You know, it's...
Yeah, the other reason for this measure is to prove that the new teams have a serious commitment to F1 and demonstrate a stable investment capacity in F1. So basically, you need to prove that you're big enough. Yes. Well, you need to be able to put this in.
There have been teams that have, like, come up, went through the whole process, and then gone,
Yeah.
It's happened.
Oh, I know.
And it costs everybody a ton of fucking money.
Yes.
Including Formula One, FIA, everybody. So they don't want that.
Rich Energy, anyone? In other words, the FIA prefers fewer teams to enter, but with a greater degree of seriousness and commitment. The more teams that are at any time could go into crisis and end in bankruptcy.
Williams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. After the application process, the FIA assesses and decides which applications are worthy of entry in accordance with Article 8.2 of the 2021 to 41 Sporting Regulation.
Okay, I'm bored.
It's just ridiculous that that's the process.
Yeah, the name of the team, name of the competing car, the make of the engine, the names of the drivers.
So you have to have all this figured out and laid out in your application before even realizing if you're able to buy in.
Yeah, correct. So you have to do all these things. I mean, what an undertaking.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, did you know that the Taliban are terrorizing the Middle East with a new supercar?
What?
You don't know about this?
I feel like I saw some post that you shared, but I thought it was
the Taliban has. You thought it was a joke?
I thought it was just some stupid meme or something.
Well, it is a joke, but it's also real.
Okay.
The Taliban has unveiled the first ever supercar designed and made in Afghanistan.
Wait, is it actually the Taliban that are making the car?
Yes, Taliban is Afghanistan.
Right because Afghanistan is under Taliban control.
The aggressive and sleek-looking Mata 9 prototype sports car is the culmination of 5 years of design and development led by 30 engineers at manufacturer Intop and Kabul's Afghanistan Technological Vocational Institute, otherwise known as ATVI, which is the stock ticker for Activision. Go ahead.
I'm just picturing these engineers working for the Taliban.
Oh, yeah. It needs to meet drag coefficient of this or we're going to cut your arm off.
Right. That's kind of what I was picturing.
Its capabilities on the road remain to be seen. The vehicle is immobile in almost all footage circulating on social media. Intop has not released any performance data whatsoever. It did roll a little bit, I saw. It's unlikely to rival the likes of Bugatti and McLaren anytime soon, with the team behind Model 9 claiming its engine is that of a completely pedestrian Toyota Corolla hatchback.
So it's a 4-cylinder.
Yes. Taliban spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid proudly posted images of the car on social media and said its construction was an honor for the whole country, unless you are a woman. The head of ATVI, Ghulam Hadir Shamat, told Afghanistan's Tola News that the Toyota Corolla's engine has been modified in such a way that if you increase the speed, it's powerful enough to take it. But claimed Intop, what a terrible name, Intop intends to install an electric powertrain at a later date. So this engine's kind of just like a placeholder before they can... I don't know. Get together enough slave labor to figure it out. Taliban's higher education minister, Abdullah Baki Haqqani.
That is an oxymoron, first of all. Here's Taliban's higher education.
Here's the problem. I'm sure most of these dudes and these engineers are probably, other than maybe some of their religious proclivities, are probably okay dudes.
Okay.
So it sucks to shit on them a little bit because everybody's just under the control of this government that just stomps on everybody's head. So who knows if these guys are good dudes or not, so it's hard to hate on the engineers without knowing. There was proof of the regime's commitment to provide religious and modern sciences for its people other than women. Meanwhile, Intop CEO Mohammad Reza Ahmadi told Tola News that he hoped the supercar would convey the value of knowledge to the people and to help boost Afghanistan's image on the world stage, but not women. I would like to thank the great national businessmen and the dear people of Afghanistan who stood by me during this time, except for women. So this seems like, like back in the day, the Soviet propaganda, like they'd roll something out and it wouldn't really work. And they'd be like, look this is the Soviet power. And then they have this thing and then it never actually works or whatever. That's what this kind of is. I just wanted to...
So I don't understand Afghanistan right now, or the Taliban even.
Okay, should I read you a little bit about the Taliban? I think this is important.
Because, the part that stood out to me is you read something about the proof of the regime's commitment to provide religious and modern sciences for the people?
For the people.
That doesn't make sense with what I know of the Taliban.
It is the opposite of true.
Okay.
It's the opposite.
So, okay.
But they're trying to modernize the world. We're the ones that are behind.
Oh,
okay. So that's kind of, I think, what their deal is. Okay. So I wanted to just run through real quick. You tell me when you get tired of this, okay?
So this is the Taliban.
This is the Taliban. Yes. The restrictions imposed by Taliban on women in Afghanistan.
Okay.
Following list.
Can they drive, first of all?
No. Complete ban on women's work outside the home, which also applies to female teachers, engineers, and most professionals.
That's how it should be, Chris.
Only a few female doctors and nurses are allowed to work in some hospitals, clearly because they work on other women. Complete ban on women's activity outside the home unless accompanied by a mahram, which is like a close male relative, like a brother or a husband or something like that. Someone that you can't marry.
Okay.
Basically what that is. Ban on women dealing with male shopkeepers. What? Ban on women being treated by male doctors. Ban on women studying at schools, universities, or other educational institutions. Yeah. Taliban have converted girls' schools into religious seminaries. Requirement that women wear a long veil, burqa, which covers them from head to toe. Whipping, beating, and verbal abuse of women not clothed in accordance with Taliban rules or of women unaccompanied by a mahram.
Right.
So if you're a woman, you're out walking around, you don't have your brother with you.
We're going to whip you.
They're going to beat you. Whipping of women in public for having non-covered ankles.
I'm laughing, but it's absolutely terrible.
Public stoning of women accused of having sex outside of marriage.
Wow.
That's death.
Yeah.
Ban on the use of cosmetics. Many women with painted nails have their fingers cut off.
Jesus.
Ban on women talking or shaking hands with non-mahram males. Can't shake their hand, you can't talk to them. Ban on women laughing loudly because no stranger should hear a woman's voice. Ban on women wearing high heel shoes, which would produce sound while walking. A man must not hear a woman's footsteps. Ban on women riding in a taxi without a mahram. Ban on women's presence in radio, television, or public gatherings of any kind. If you look at this car and where it is, it's just a sausage party.
Oh, yeah.
There's just men everywhere.
So you can stop. We get the pick.
Let me see if there's any other ones. Blah, blah, blah.
Here's my question, though. What
You cannot appear outside on the balcony of your house. You have to paint all your windows so no women can be seen. I mean, there's no ban on female public bathing. No men can take women's measurements for clothes. You can't be on the same bus. Men and women can't even ride the same bus together.
Wow.
They can't listen to... Okay, here's another thing I want to talk about. This is everybody. This applies to everyone.
Okay.
Banned listening to music.
No one can listen to music.
Banned. The watching of movies, television, and videos. None. For everyone. Banned. Celebrating the traditional New Year. It's un-Islamic. No Labor Day, or all people with non-Islamic names, change them to Islamic ones. Haircuts are forced. Men must wear certain things. Men must not shave or trim their beards. All people must attend. I mean, it goes on and on and on.
What?
And on and on.
So
and on.
Is this still based?
You can't even fly a kite.
That's literally
ban on certain games, including flying a kite, which is un-Islamic. So why are you allowed to drive a supercar if you can't even fly a kite?
Okay, yes. No, I agree. None of this adds up or makes any sense.
Only ordinary Afghans and foreigners are banned from using the internet. If you're Taliban or official, you can. No one else is allowed to use the internet.
Of course not, because if you saw what the rest of the world was doing, you wouldn't allow any of this.
I want it.
I don't understand how they think that this is good or right or...
I don't... If you want to get into the religious philosophy of it, it's because temptation leads to sin. Is basically what it is. It's all about temptation for sex and temptation for materialism, and temptation away from Allah, Muhammad, everything else. Mm-hmm. Your life revolves around religion. Mm-hmm. Government is religion. Your life is religion. Yada yada yada. So I just wanted I want to talk about that supercar.
That list, how can you justify and say that yes, this is good?
Religion is an interesting thing, my friend. All right. A study has found that buttons are safer than touchscreens.
Duh. Yes.
Well, now we have stats.
Okay.
New evidence shows touchscreens are far less safe and efficient than the old school alternative.
Yeah.
According to the findings of Swedish car magazine.
One more time.
Over the summer, the magazine conducted tests across 12 models of cars, 11 modern, along with a 2005 Volvo with physical controls. They allowed the test drivers to get to know the ins and outs of the vehicles. The tests themselves were simple. Drivers were instructed to cruise down an empty airstrip at 68 miles per hour and were timed on the completion of 4 infotainment tasks, ranging from adjusting the AC to messing with the radio. The Swedish magazine found that the 2005 Volvo far outperformed the modern infotainment screen-equipped cars, with the driver completing all 4 tasks in just 10 seconds and 1,000 feet traveled. Meanwhile, the best time in the modern cars was nearly 14 seconds. But even these speeds were relative outliers because the majority of infotainment-equipped vehicles, it took well over 20 seconds and at least 2,000 feet. Plus...
This is, by the way, they set down an airfield. You're going straight, Chris. You don't even have to look at driving.
You don't have to pay attention. You don't have to do anything.
You're just trying to activate it with the touchscreen.
That's correct.
Wow.
And the thing is when you use a touchscreen, you have to look at it.
Yeah.
You know what? You on your remote in your house for your TV, if it's in the dark, there's always like little raised buttons.
There's a name for those because it's on keyboards too, the little nubs.
Yeah, so you know where your fingers are without looking.
Exactly.
You know what doesn't have those?
Touchscreens?
Touchscreens.
Yes.
That's
exactly.
it. Hopefully we can, I know that I've heard that Volkswagen is coming back a little bit.
Good.
Yeah, so we can feel
Porsche
buttons.
until recently was all about buttons.
Lots of buttons.
If you step in my Macan, everyone's like, what is going on? Because everything is a button.
All right, troubling statistics for auto manufacturers on EV adoption.
Okay.
This is what I was going to talk about. I think this is really important. It's kind of
EV adoption.
This is kind of dry, but I think it's important to...
So this is the proof that people don't actually want EVs.
Yes, but it's from the auto manufacturer's perspective.
Okay.
Like what they feel. What the auto manufacturers themselves feel is happening.
Okay.
Global automotive executives are far less confident about the rate of adoption of electric vehicles than they were a year ago, amid supply chain problems and rising economic concerns, according to a survey released Tuesday. Of more than 900 automotive executives who took part in the annual Globe Auto Survey by KPMG, the international consulting according firm, reports 76% are concerned that inflation and high interest rates will adversely affect their business next year in the U.S. The figure was 84%. Amid those concerns.
Who's the other, what is that? 16% that is not concerned about that.
It's fine. It's gonna be fine.
I don't see any problem here.
It's fine. Eggs are $13, but that's fine. Amid those concerns, KPMG reports automotive executives are less bullish about the prevalence of all electric vehicles in the U.S. and globally by 2030. Estimates of new vehicles sold by EVs by then globally range from 10 to 40% in this year's survey, down from 20 to 70% a year earlier, a drop by almost in confidence in half.
Yep.
Almost in half. For the U.S., the median expectation for EV sales was 35% of the new vehicle market, down from 65% a year earlier. So one thing I wanted to look at, too, is I have a graph here, which nobody can see, but I'll kind of tell you what it is. Which companies do auto executives think will lead the battery electric car market in 2030? If in 2021, it was Tesla, BMW, Ford, and BYD, which is a Chinese company.
Yeah,
2022, Tesla, Audi, BMW, Apple.
What?
Apple, who wasn't even barely on the list last year. Apple.
Have we heard anything from Apple? I know there was always like, oh, the iCar is coming.
Yeah, and they were like working with Hyundai and a few other things.
It just didn't. Is there new news that we don't know about?
I just find it looks like the numbers were taken away from Tesla, because Tesla was like dominating by a large margin in 2021.
Almost twice as much as BMW, which was the next leading last year. But then this year, it's just a smidge above Audi.
Yeah, and the numbers are down, and it looks like it's spread out. Honestly, it looks like Apple.
Which, by the way, Audi wasn't even on last year.
Yeah,
at all.
It's wild how fast things are changing. All right, I like this one.
What?
Farmers have finally beat the shit out of John Deere.
Okay,
you know what I'm talking about.
I do. Yes, it's the right to repair bill, and
they won.
They did.
Yes. Tractor maker John Deere has agreed to give its U.S. customers the right to fix their own equipment.
As they should.
Previously, farmers were only allowed to use authorized parts and service facilities rather than cheaper independent repair options. Deere & Co. is one of the world's largest makers of farming equipment.
Deere & Co. Okay.
Deere & Company. Consumer groups have been calling for companies to allow their customers to be able to fix everything from smartphones to tractors. And I don't need to get into like all this stuff, but basically, under the agreement, equipment owners and independent technicians will not be allowed to divulge trade secrets or override safety features or emissions, but they are going to be able to work on the tractors.
As they should.
You know why?
Why?
Because they fucking own it. It's theirs. If it was a lease, maybe I could understand, and a lot of farming equipment is leased.
Yes, it is.
But I think if you own it,
damn expensive.
You should be able to do what you want. And I think this is interesting, too, because this applies to a lot of things.
Yes.
Did you know that there's a self-service repair store on Apple's website?
What does that even mean?
You can order all the parts to take all of your Apple stuff apart now.
Really?
Yep, all the tools, everything. Everything you need. Yeah, relatively new. In 2022, Apple launched a self-service repair scheme, giving customers the ability to replace their own batteries, screens, and cameras of recent iPhones. Pretty great.
That's really cool.
Apple's new repair store will sell more than 200 parts and tools.
I'm like clicking on this right now because
it's awesome.
Look at the back of my phone right now; it's cracked.
Yeah,
which I need a new one, anyways. But yeah, we can fix it.
All right. Have you kind of been paying attention to what's been going on at Tesla lately?
I haven't, because to me, it's all just noise.
It is pretty wild. The stock price, I think, is down like 60%.
Absolutely tanked. It was like Elon lost the most amount of money that's ever been lost by a single person, right, in history.
That's pretty impressive.
Yes.
Was it because he bought Twitter and blew it up? Or one thing I think is really interesting about this, and I had this typed up, and then I deleted it because I didn't want to talk about it, but now I changed my mind. Do you remember when we were talking about Elon a long time ago, when everybody was just like stroking this guy's, you know what? They were just all over him.
Ego?
Buying voted candles, buying flamethrowers. Everybody was happy. He's launching rockets into space.
Joked about,
I love this.
The Church of Elon.
The Church of Elon.
Yeah.
Around this time, he's calling people pedophiles, evading the SEC and lying to the SEC.
Okay.
Manipulating cryptocurrency, doing all kinds of weird shit. That he's
Dogecoin,
He's not a different person now. He is still Elon, but now that he took over Twitter and cleaned Twitter up and just basically flipped the table on it.
Yeah.
Everybody hates him. Everybody hates Elon. Everybody hates Elon, and now they hate Tesla too. There's a lot of articles I read that were like going through statistics of why people are selling them, and they're like, I don't like Elon's politics anymore. I don't know why he would mess with Twitter and free speech and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It just goes to prove how fickle and stupid Tesla owners truly are.
Because it was all about identifying with Elon Musk, not about the product.
Right. With its sales slowing and stock price tumbling, Tesla shares slashed prices dramatically Friday on several versions of its electric vehicles, making some of its models eligible for a new federal tax credit that could help spur buyer interest. And they also dropped, there was like a memo that went out at the end of the year. They were like, deliver as many cars as you can. by the end of the year to fucking no, like deliver the cars because they needed to like
they need the numbers.
They need the numbers.
Did you read this though? The company dropped prices nearly 20%.
That's insane.
On some versions of the Model Y. Wow.
The cut will make more versions of the Model Y eligible for $7,500 tax credit.
Sure. Because it must be like under a price.
It expired or something, or it's out. Far from pleasing investors, the sharp price cut set Tesla shares down 3% last Friday. That's a lot in one day. 3 to 5% move, pretty serious. Since the start of last year, the stock has plummeted more than 65%.
Wow.
You know, I would have bought puts on Tesla if I could afford them. Can you imagine
if you shorted it?
I can't afford them. They're like really expensive stock options. I like buying like one or two of something, and when they cost like $500 to $800 a piece, I'm like, yeah, nope, that's a little bit much for me. I usually play with options at around $50 to like $200.
Yeah,
so that way I don't just
lose your shirt,
lose my shirt.
Exactly.
I think the real driver for all of this is the falling demand for Tesla, said Guidehouse Research e-mobility and analyst Sam Abelsmaid. Abels something. So I think so too. They got shrinking margin. They're not new anymore. They're not the new kid on the block. Well, the cars all look the same. There's no Cybertruck. There's no Roadster. All there is rockets and Twitter. That's it. All it is rockets and Twitter. That's all we got. There's been no other than I guess the Plaid, but that's not like a consumer car. That doesn't get regular consumers excited. It's just something for nerds to jack off about. It's not like a real thing that anyone cares.
Yeah, there's something to be said about market saturation. Like there were so many Tesla fanboys, right?
Yes.
That's a finite number of people that were Tesla fanboys, and they all bought Teslas. And now what?
All of the rest of the manufacturers were like slow and steady.
Yep. And now they're finally there.
And they're right there, and they're right all over Tesla's ass. Also in Tesla news, Tesla's been banned from advertising self-driving.
Good, because it's not.
Yep. So starting next year, Tesla will effectively be banned from advertising its vehicles as full self-driving under a new law signed by Governor Gavin Newsom of the socialist state of California. Senate Bill 1398 is among the hundreds of new state laws taken in effect, blah, blah, blah. The State Department of Motor Vehicles
specifically targets Tesla.
Yes, because there was like a thing that was against deceptively naming or marketing, like deceptive whatever practices.
Yeah.
But they're just passing this just to like,
Like, no, you specifically Tesla.
This is you.
It's not self-driving.
Yeah, I get this, but how stupid are people? Dare I wonder.
About
that what? They really think that their Tesla is self-driving, like automate, like
most
totally.
People. No, most people think that. Oh yeah, it has autopilot. It is self-driving.
So you know that stupid steering wheel? This is the last of the Tesla news, I promise.
Okay. Yes, the yoke. You're like driving a Cessna.
Tesla has reintroduced a round steering wheel option for the Model S and Model X. Obviously. I have two paragraphs here. Don't care. That's enough.
What? Did people finally realize it's dumb?
We win. That's all I know.
Okay.
All right. Last story. The biggest engineering in pickups is finally here. You ready for
biggest engineering innovation is here.
In pickups. Usually it's the tailgate, right?
Yes, that's true. Everyone had their own tailgate version. Well, this one folds down 60/40. What? What? This one has a step built in.
This time? It's not a tailgate. It's a passhole.
The passhole.
The passhole.
Which is, it's funny to say, but this is what the,
It's different than the Rivian.
Really?
It's really different. Concept vehicles are vessels for far-fetched and far-out designs, where I can see if I can get to the point here. Blah. The light-duty Ram pickup offers a preview of 2024 production model and some of its wild features, like the full-length passhole that creates a nose-to-tail cargo tunnel for, I don't know if that's what they actually call it, that creates a nose-to-tail cargo tunnel for long and skinny items up to 18 feet long. So you put it in the bed of the truck, and it goes all the way up under the front console.
Okay,
under the
that's
radio.
Actually really cool.
Yeah, for like boards or
right. Yeah, you can get an 18-foot 2x4 in there now.
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
18-foot 2x4s?
Yeah.
I thought they were not 18 feet. That's really
I know.
That's a big
get
board.
Like 16 feet.
Something like this could have significant real-world practicality for truck owners.
Right.
I don't care. I just wanted to say passhole a few times.
Well, you could just also have like roof rails and put it on the roof. That's what I've done.
Yes, you could do that.
Because I think I had 24-foot long steel poles that I bought.
Well, everybody has a passhole. Well, they don't, but they could. And they will.
They could.
They could, and they will. All right, guys, that's it. We
You
are
ram through the
out of
Passhole.
time. That is all the news. I hope you enjoyed news coming back. We will. I just pulled from the most recent week or week and a half. So some episodes are going to be better than others. They're going to have some great news, some not so great news, but hopefully we can all have a good time. I'll try to make fun of Jake more. I know that's what everybody likes. We know he's
That's what
he's
they're
short.
here for.
He's a short vest wearing, Birkenstock loving troglodyte. So there you go.
Why am I troglodyte?
I don't even know what a troglodyte is, but it sounds insulting.
either.
Sounds insulting. I'm going to look it up quick.
Troglodyte?
Troglodyte. Hope it's not too bad.
Says the man who doesn't know what cold-blooded reptilians are.
Oh, no.
Wait, what is a troglodyte? Why are you laughing?
It's me. A person who is regarded as being deliberately ignorant or old-fashioned.
Yes, that is 100% you. That is not me at all.
That is not you. A person of degraded, primitive, or brutal character. A person living in seclusion.
You are 100% a troglodyte.
I'm a troglodyte.
On that note.
On that note, we will see you guys next week.
Take care.